What's going on this week, Tom?
Everything. Big week. Big week.
It is indeed a big week. We just played the clip from you. I can't remember if it was on Quick Slants or if it was on Early Edition. I'm sorry. Ryan's telling me it was Early Edition, where there's winnable games everywhere for the Patriots.
The wins are everywhere.
The winnable games are everywhere. Where are they going to get some actual wins?
When they stop making cement-headed mistakes. I mean, we can all agree that the first two games were eminently winnable, when none of us would have thought that on August 31st. But those were winnable games. So I'll say now what I said 1,000 times, and you guys acknowledge the same. If they start to play like a Bill Belichick coach team, they'll win games. They will flip the script.
Okay, fine. But when's the last time they played like a Bill Belichick coach team? Like that's felt like a couple of years now.
I would say late 2018.
Wow. Okay, that's even farther back than that's farther back than I would have gone. So how are they going to rekindle that then if they haven't done it since 2018?
In my mind, these are all preventable mistakes that they're making. I mean, the turnovers, the Ezekiel Elliott fumble was a preventable mistake. The Mac pick in both games were preventable mistakes. Pop Douglas is really the only guy who got victimized by a good play, and he gets scapegoated. But lining up offsides on a kickoff, lining up offsides and getting a neutral zone infraction to wipe out a sack, a hold in the end zone to extend a drive that turns into a touchdown. To me, maybe I'm just going on faith in 21 years of success and good, crisp coaching, but it's hard for me to believe that they will never revert to that. So that's why I look at the schedule and say there's winnable games all over the place, as were the first two games, if they play without stupid mistakes.
Tom, do you know who Droopy Dog is, the cartoon?
Of course I do.
He definitely does. That's got to be right in your wheelhouse, Tom.
Like, if you think about Droopy Dog's face, that's who we talked to on air on Monday when Mac Jones came in the room. Like, he was Droopy Dog. And I'm a little concerned because then when he came up to the podium yesterday, I thought, okay, this is a Sunday night football game, late night for him, bad loss. We heard about him sitting at his locker in his full uniform and all this. But then I saw Droopy Dog at the podium again on Wednesday. Do you have any concerns about he's this perfectionist guy? Is he sleeping this week? Is he taking this too rough? He's a guy who's potentially playing for a contract. Is it possible that he's psyching himself out so early in the season?
We've seen upbeat Mac. We've seen resolute Mac. Maybe Droopy Dog Mac results in a different result for the team entirely. Because I see where you're coming from with the things he said in his countenance this week. So if Droopy Dog Mac inspires other people and he's now a no BS guy and he is telling guys, stay later, where are you going? Do you know what you're doing on X, Y, and Z? And it has an effect, then that's a great thing, because that's what the team needs. So it is interesting to reflect on how young these guys are, 22, 23, 24, with the weight of expectations, a franchise, adults on the team with them, a fan base to negotiate it. But guys have been doing it for a long time. It's a different climate now in what they have to negotiate, I think. But it's not easy, but it is what it is, what it is.
You just brought up the comments about more work that Mac said on Sunday, and we asked him about on Monday here on Jones and Mego with Arcan. Do you think that was intended for anyone specific, or was that more of a broad comment about the team?
I don't know if it was anyone specific, but I don't think that I buy him trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube as he was doing. I mean, he made a specific point of saying that means everyone. That's the most important thing. So that's not a slip of the tongue. That's a conscious assessment on his part that more has to be done across the board. So I don't know if that's the wide receivers. I don't know if that's the offensive line. I don't know if that's the Demario Douglas. But it seemed very pointed, and I'm not buying the, oh, no, it was nothing.
Tom, looking at the Jets matchup and the dominance that the Patriots have had over them over the last, couple of years now, it's particularly in the Zach Wilson era. Outside of him and his shortcomings, which of course there are many and they've been documented, what is it about sort of that matchup that favors the Patriots so much, if there is anything outside of the Zach Wilson and his follies?
there's really not anything that separates the two teams. They're both 8-11 since the beginning of last year. Patriots are 4-7 in their last 11. The Jets are 3-8. The Jets had a harder schedule last year, a bigger strength of victory. The Jets beat the Packers and two other teams. I can't remember who they were. I wrote this earlier.
Buffalo?
Yeah, Buffalo for sure.
Buffalo. Yeah, they beat teams that the Patriots didn't beat. So there's not really a lot separating them. You just have to hope that you could fuse Zach Wilson and, again, revert to playing mistake-free, efficient, situationally smart football.
Tom, if you were a betting man, would you bet on DeMario Pop Douglas being back out there on Sunday after his benching?
I would. It's interesting to hear the backlash coming from all quarters, whether it be Rodney Harrison or Devin McCourty on the Greg Hill show. They basically echoed what we were all saying after the game. Not now. This isn't the time for the Harry High School stuff where we're benching players to send a message because they happen to be rookies. It's, again, we don't know if in practice he's been dropping the ball all over the place. But I think it was you, Jonesy, maybe, who was saying, well, he wouldn't have been fielding punts if that was the case, would he? So I think it was, a misplaced penalty to a player just based on, Bill's still no nonsense Bill, I guess.
Tom, the offensive line has been pretty Jekyll and Hyde, I'd say, through the first 2 weeks. I think a lot of people expected them to not hold as well as they did against Philly, and I think people expected them to be better than they were against the Dolphins. We all know what that Jets front looks like. Which offensive line are we going to see on Sunday?
It's interesting when you hear the comments made by Sauce Gardner about the way the Patriots offense is operating. Yeah. It's very simple. They do what they do. I think a lot of that is tied to what can they do right now? They're not running any play action, not running any RPOs. I know that they wanted to try and incorporate that more. I can't predict which offensive line you're going to see. I would always bet on improvement as the season goes along, improvement as reps come, and communication. So I would imagine it would be closer to competent than incompetent. Not that they were totally incompetent last week, but there was enough of it.
Did you think it was weird when that tweet was out there about Trent Brown's contract that it was Matt Groh who was name-checked in the negotiation with Drew Rosenhaus?
No, I didn't. I think that Bill would be the person who would cite that more than... It was a Schefter tweet, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was Schefter for sure.
Yeah. Generally speaking, I think that anything that comes... I think Schefter has a pretty solid pipeline to Bill. In my professional opinion, not to cast aspersions on anybody's sourcing, but I don't think that there was any ulterior motive to show that anything was going on or there's a succession plan in place or anything like that.
I've heard conspiracy theories. I think Michael Holley brought this up the other night on NBC Sports Boston. Do you think in any way Bill's trying to distance himself from the roster?
No.
Okay. Well, that was fun while it lasted. I'm sorry we asked then, because now all our conspiracy theories are getting blown up.
It's just a lot of time to kill on all our shows, and I think that that's an easy one because it can never be really refuted. So we tend to do that, just like it's Kraft's Lighthouse is preventing them from signing people, which is ridiculous.
Tom, we saw...
Stop taking these away.
I know. I'm upset about these, too. Tom, we saw a couple of guys, defensive back signed to the practice squad. Could that mean anything about Jack Jones? Is there anything to read into there?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, it might have more to do with Marcus Jones, perhaps, and the combination of said Jones boys, because Marcus is dealing with something, missed practice yesterday, so could be related to that. Good week to have Zach Wilson across from you if you do have deficiencies in the defensive backfield, though.
Okay, so since we have a lot of time to fill, I do want to ask you this, Tom. If
they mean?
No, that's not mean. It's true. So when it comes to this game, the Patriots are not going to lose this game, in my estimation. I've been saying since maybe Monday, certainly Tuesday, get to 10, and you're going to win the game. Score 10 points, you're going to win the game this weekend. So I don't think they're going to lose. If they lose, what does the discussion look like on Monday? Are we talking about job security and jobs on the line and things like that? How far are we going if they lose this type of game?
I would imagine so, because we haven't even gotten to week 3's game, and we're talking about job security and hot seats. We've been talking about hot seats since Bill Belichick Robert Kraft said, we have no playoff wins in the last 3 years. So it's been nonstop, ceaseless hot seat conversation. I'd say this. I don't see Bill Belichick ever being removed during a season. And I still think it's on the highly unlikely side, or at least the unlikely side, that Bill Belichick is forced to leave. I wouldn't say highly unlikely, but I'd say unlikely.
Okay, I think it's highly unlikely the Patriots lose this week to the Jets, so I don't think we'll be going there next week. But I'm looking forward to it next week. Tom, we'll talk to you Thursday at 3:30. Thanks so much.
Do you know there's a cyclone storm tropical thing that's going to hit?
I did see this. Yeah, right in the New York, New Jersey area. Yes.
Ooh, should we do an hour on that tomorrow?
I'm smelling 9-3.
Oh, wow.
Gross.
Okay. Wait, who?
Patriots.
Oh, okay. Patriots. Okay, Patriots.
I got to get to 10 wins somehow. I got to get to 10 wins. There's wins everywhere.
All right, thanks, Tom.
One of them's blowing into down the coast.
The winds are everywhere.
All right, thanks, Tom.